Ever feel like you're sprinting in a million directions, like just trying to master every skill out there?
Right.
Or maybe you're the opposite, laser focused on one thing,
Hmm.
but secretly freaking out about, having all your eggs in one basket.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Today, we're diving into that classic dilemma.
Yeah.
Specialization versus generalization.
The age-old question, which path actually equals success?
Which one? Well, that's what this deep dive is all about. We've got two research papers, and they are fascinating.
Oh, lay it on me.
One looks at, get this, how people navigate career changes. But specifically, after those job losses, no one likes to talk about.
Ouch, yeah. Been there.
The other one, it's about these companies, hidden champion companies, that just dominate their own little corner of the market.
Okay, so two totally different worlds. What connects them?
Adaptability.
That's the key, isn't it? Both studies say that in our crazy, fast-changing world, being adaptable is non-negotiable. Whether you're building a career or a company, it's all about adapting.
Okay, so both agree adaptability is essential, but
But how do you get there? What's the best way to be adaptable? That's where the real debate begins.
all right, so let's break it down. Both studies, right off the bat, say that being adaptable is key in this ever-changing world of ours.
Makes sense.
Right. It's like having a Swiss Army knife full of skills ready for anything.
Love that. But it's more than just having different skills, right? It's how you get those skills and, importantly, how you use them. And that's a key difference between generalists and specialists. The researchers, Bayan and Rafi, who studied career changes after job loss, they found something really interesting.
Okay, hit me with it.
The people with broader skill sets, the generalists, they had a real advantage. They could move to totally different jobs or even industries more easily.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They've got options.
Exactly. If one door closes, they've got like 5 more keys in their hand ready to go.
Love it. Okay, so that's the generalist side. Now, what about these hidden champion companies? They're specialists, right?
Right. And Lei and Wu, they're the researchers on that one. They found that these hidden champion companies were all about specialization. They were the masters of their niche.
Interesting. So we've got generalists who are adaptable and can jump around, and then specialists who are laser focused. So which is better?
Well, that's the thing. It's not so black and white. Context is everything. It all depends on your goals, your strengths, even just the environment you're in.
All right, so how do we figure out what works best then? How do you know if you're naturally a specialist or a generalist?
Yeah, how do you figure that out? No easy answers, unfortunately, but these studies, they give us some clues. So Bien and Rafi, the job loss study, they found this trend. Generalists, they were more likely to land on their feet faster after a job loss, like way more likely.
Okay, how much more likely are we talking?
Think 70% more likely to find a new gig within 6 months compared to the specialists.
Wow, 70%. That's huge. It's like that broader skill set, it acts as a safety net or something.
Exactly. Multiple options, multiple paths, less risk. But on the flip side, Lei and Wu's research on those hidden champions, 80% of them said their success was all thanks to deeply understanding their customers' very specific needs, something they only got from years of specialized focus.
Okay, so it's about going deep, becoming the expert. But how do you not get stuck? What if your niche just disappears one day?
That's where things get tricky. Even specialists, they have to be able to adapt, right? You got to see the changes coming in your industry. It's not about being stubborn, it's about being smart.
So both sides have a point. Maybe it's less about picking one path and more about finding that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Like if you thrive on new things, new challenges, constantly learning, maybe the generalist route, that's your jam.
Right. And if you're the opposite, you find something you love, some topic that totally absorbs you, you want to be the absolute best at it, well, specialization might be calling your name.
You got to play to your strengths.
Oh,
But there are downsides to both. So,
totally. There are always trade-offs.
like, a generalist might have more job security if things get rough, but a specialist in a high-demand field, they're probably making bank. It's all about what matters most to you in the end, isn't it?
Couldn't have said it better myself. What are your values? What do you want your career, your life to look like? But hey, speaking of valuable assets, both of these studies, they agreed on one thing that I thought was super interesting.
Okay, what's that?
Networks.
Networks. Okay, yeah, tell me. You're not about to tell me. It's all about who you know.
Well, it is about who you know, at least to an extent.
Ugh, come on.
Hear me out. Both studies found that connections, real, genuine connections, they're game changers. Whether you're a specialist or a generalist, Bin and Raffi, remember them, the job loss study, they found that generalists just naturally build wider networks. They know people across different industries, different fields.
Makes sense. They've dipped their toes in so many ponds. So it's
Yeah.
like having a built-in intel network, constantly feeding you new information.
Exactly. Now flip it, Lee and Wu, they saw that those hidden champion companies, even though they were all about specialization, they had incredible networks, but within their niche. They knew everybody who mattered, suppliers, distributors, even their competitors.
So it's like they had this powerful web, but it was focused on their little corner of the world.
Right, and that gave them a real edge.
It seems like, bottom line, building relationships, that's key no matter what path you choose.
No doubt about it. Those relationships, they can make all the difference.
So we've got generalists, we've got specialists, both have their strengths. But what if you could combine them? Like, what if you didn't have to choose?
Oh, the best of both worlds. Now you're talking.
Right. Imagine being a specialist, but with that generalist mindset. Or a company that's known for its niche expertise, but could also adapt like crazy.
That's the dream, isn't it? Actually, some career experts, they call that being T-shaped.
T-shaped. Okay, I like where this is going.
So think of the vertical part of the T. That's your deep specialized knowledge, right? You've got that one area you're really good at.
Got it, the deep dive.
Yeah,
But then there's the top of the T.
exactly. That horizontal line, that's your broader knowledge, skills from different fields.
So you've got the expertise, but you can also connect the dots, bring in ideas from other areas. That's amazing.
Right, you're not stuck in just one lane. And that leads to some seriously innovative thinking.
Okay, give me an example. How does this T-shaped thing actually work in the real world?
All right, picture this. You've got a software developer, right? They specialize in cybersecurity, super important these days. But they also keep up with artificial intelligence, the latest stuff.
Okay, so they're not just protecting things, they're anticipating the future.
Exactly. They use their AI knowledge, their broad knowledge, to come up with even better cybersecurity solutions.
That's incredible. They've got the specialist skills, but they're thinking like generalists too.
And that's powerful. Or think about a company like Disney. Everyone knows Disney.
They're the kings of, what, animation? Theme parks.
Exactly. That's their specialization.
Yeah.
But they're also masters of, well, everything else. Movies, streaming, merchandise. They're everywhere. They've got that generalist mindset, always exploring, but they never lose sight of what they're best at.
And it works for them. So it's not one or the other, is it? It's about being adaptable, always learning, no matter what path you're on.
100%. And you know what? That's what I really love about this whole conversation. Whether you see yourself as a specialist, a generalist, or a little bit of both, the key takeaway is the same.
Stay curious.
Exactly. And never, ever stop learning. You never know where that curiosity might lead you.
Great advice. Well, that is all the time we have for today's deep dive. Until next time.